Friends, in fact, these hysterical outbursts by Trump over Greenland could end very badly, primarily for the United States. Seriously, the president is behaving like a spoiled child. I want it, give it to me now. He stomps his feet, throws sand at those around him, yells and sulks. Of course, no one gives in. He makes decisions. Yesterday he puzzled everyone, delivered a grand speech. And now, as of today, sanctions have been imposed, 10% tariffs against a whole range of countries. That includes Denmark, Germany, and the United Kingdom. A detailed list, as well as his speech with justification, can be found on my official Sazonov Telegram channel or on my Facebook page. For those who use it, Kyrylo Sazonov. The links are in the video description. So basically, it's a tantrum, 10% tariffs, and starting this summer, it'll be 25%. Well, in general, these will take effect starting February 1st. Basically, it's a complete mess. The destruction of trade. Some punishment, that is. The European Union is urgently gathering at the ambassadorial level to figure out what to do about this. But we all understand what's going to happen. The exact same tariffs will be introduced in response. So, trade between the two countries will slow down a bit, and the economy will stall a little. And at this time, just recently, Europe signs an agreement that has been in the works. Hold on tight, 25 years. With the countries of South America, the Global South, trade, development, business. So here you have an alternative direction to move in. Of course, not everything is smooth there. The agreement has been signed. They will work together, but Italian and French farmers are unhappy. The Polish are unhappy too, but we couldn't care less about their discontent, because we remember how they caused a bit of trouble. Well, yes, whatever, let's move on. They will cooperate with South America, they will cooperate with the Global South instead of the United States. China looks at this and says, damn, the old scheme still works. You sit on the riverbank and wait for the bodies of your enemies to float by. In other words, China will most likely also carve out its own niche in this trade. And yesterday, after 10 years of confrontation with Canada, China signed the major trade agreement. Trump, he doesn't get a full severe blockade, but rather isolation, which weakens the American economy. Europe, China, the Global South, Canada. They start working together, developing. Given how much the US economy depends on its political influence in the world and on the dominance of the dollar, Trump could, in principle, drive his own economy into a corner, deep in the wrong direction. And that's not very good for the US. And by the way, it's really unfortunate, really bad for the American economy that at this moment there isn't a sufficiently mature, competent person next to Trump who would dare to tell him what you're doing is wrong. No, his entourage just nods happily saying, you're a genius, you're so smart. That's really bad. And usually this is a disease that afflicts all dictatorships. But certainly not a model democracy, a truly exemplary established democracy in the world. One would like to believe that they have some kind of cunning plan. And that Trump, by forcing Europe to at least defend Greenland, will somehow turn back the clock. Because the strengthening of China and its satellite Russia is absolutely not in our interest. Well, the greatness of America, we somehow put that on the back burner, but what concerns us here and now, that does matter. By the way, the conclusion for Ukraine is simple and obvious. That means building a strong economy without listening to anyone, not falling for anyone's promises, inducements, or recommendations. A strong economy, a strong defense industry, a strong army. Might makes right. That's the reality we have today, whether we like it or not. Or do we? There are no other scenarios, friends. Subscribe to the Telegram channel and Facebook. Sazonov Telegram channel, official Facebook, Kyrylo Sazonov. There I go into more detail about all this, and there's plenty of interesting news that doesn't fit here. Subscribe to this channel, I'll be glad to see you. We have shed our illusions. We are moving forward. Everything will be Ukraine.